You know, a lot of people think Superman is going to be the key to the new DCU. But what if I told you the real beating heart of this universe is actually hiding in the shadows of Gotham? And it's not just about a lone Dark Knight, but about the entire complex family that carries on his legacy. So let's dive into what could be a grand vision for a Batman saga unlike anything we have ever seen on screen. And this quote, right here, this is the whole point. We've seen the brooding, solitary vigilante a dozen times over, but we've never really seen the father. This whole saga isn't about one man's war on crime. It's about the sprawling, messy, and deeply traumatized family he accidentally builds around himself. That's the story we're hoping to finally see.
So yeah, we're not just talking about another string of sequels here. This is designed as a single, massive, interconnected epic, a story with a real beginning, a messy middle, and a definitive end, all meant to completely redefine what Batman means in this new DCU.
The sheer scope of this idea is what's so exciting. This isn't just a movie trilogy. Think bigger. We're talking about a story that stretches across multiple films and TV series, weaving all these characters and timelines together. The goal is to see the entire life cycle of the Bat family, from the moment it's created to the moment it completely shatters, and maybe, just maybe, how it comes back together.
All right, so every great saga needs a solid foundation. But how do you kick this one off? Well, you might be surprised. We don't start with a giant Batman blockbuster. No, we start with something much quieter, much more insidious and personal.
The whole saga kicks off with a Clayface movie. And honestly, this is a brilliant move. It lets this new DCU establish its Batman without having to do another origin story. Instead, he's introduced subtly as this silent, terrifying, almost mythical force in the background of another man's tragedy. It completely sidesteps all the comparisons and starts building a new legend. And right away, we see the core theme they're playing with: identity. You have Basil Karlo, an actor who literally loses himself becoming this monster. And then you have his perfect mirror image, Bruce Wayne, a man who, you could argue, only finds his true self when he puts on the mask. So from the get-go, this isn't just a monster movie. It's a psychological deep dive.
So this prelude doesn't just end. Its conclusion is really a transition. Clayface gets taken down and thrown into Arkham Asylum, but that's not the end of the story. Nope. It's just the first domino to fall in a much, much bigger and more dangerous game that's about to start.
And that brings us to the main event, the brave and the bold. Now we are jumping right into the deep end here. No origin story. When we meet this Batman, his family is already here, it's established, and it's already fractured. You've got Dick Grayson as Nightwing out on his own. Barbara Gordon is Oracle, the mastermind in the chair. Tim Drake is the brilliant strategist, Red Robin. And haunting every single one of them is the memory of Jason Todd. He's this unhealed wound that's just festering at the heart of the family. And into this absolute powder keg, you drop Damian Wayne, Bruce's biological son, who's been raised by assassins his whole life. His arrival is the spark. He forces everyone to finally confront their pasts and figure out who they are now, all while the League of Assassins is breathing down their necks. This isn't just some cute father-son story. It's about a broken family being violently slammed back together. From there, the world just blows wide open. Imagine a gritty, street-level Nightwing series. This is where Dick Grayson finally truly gets out from under Batman's shadow. And he's not just another grim vigilante. He becomes something Bruce could never be, a real symbol of hope. You know, in a universe filled with gods and monsters and darkness, having that kind of street-level optimism is absolutely essential.
Okay, so we've got the present day locked down. Now it's time to peel back the layers and dig into the dark, twisted history that defines this world, and especially its villains. And next up is something really cool, an Arkham Asylum anthology series. I want you to think of it like Black Mirror, but set inside Gotham's madhouse. Each episode would be a deep dive into the mind of a single villain, exploring not just what broke them, but how the shadow of the Batman just completely haunts their every waking moment.
But here's the twist, and it is a big one. It turns out these aren't just one-off standalone stories. The finale reveals that all of these individual tales are part of a much larger plan. A coordinated mass breakout is being orchestrated by the Joker and Harley, and by these whispers from a mysterious, powerful voice coming from the vents, the voice of Bane.
And that reveal, it sets us up perfectly for an animated Nightfall trilogy. And this wouldn't be some side story, this would be canon. a prequel that shows us the full, brutal, devastating story of how Bane first broke the bat years before our main story. It gives Bane this incredible weight and history, long before he ever steps back into the live-action present.
All right, now we zoom out, way out. We get a huge crossover based on public enemies. Lex Luthor is the President of the United States, Superman is a public enemy, and Batman is the only person in the world who still stands by him. But the real power of this story isn't the action, it's the friendship. It's the ultimate dynamic, the shadow and the sun, standing united against the whole world, all because of a shared moral code.
Okay, so we've built this entire world. We've established this family. And now it's time for the emotional core of the entire saga. It's time to break it all. It's time to face the ghost that has been haunting them from the very beginning. Jason Todd is back, and his return as the Red Hood isn't just a fistfight with Bruce. No, this is a psychological and moral reckoning for every single member of the family. He is a direct challenge to Dick, to Barbara, to Tim. It's deeply personal, and it forces every one of them to answer for the past.
And it all boils down to this one absolutely gut-wrenching question. When Jason has the Joker at his mercy and he turns to Batman, he's not just asking why he didn't avenge his death. He's asking a much bigger question. What is the actual, real-world cost of your strict no-kill philosophy? How many people have died because of that code? And the outcome is just devastating. Absolutely nothing is resolved. Jason disappears again, the family completely shatters under the emotional weight of it all, and Bruce is left standing there with a code that now feels like his greatest failure, leaving Gotham more vulnerable than ever. So, after all that buildup, all that pain, we finally arrive at the grand finale. This is it. This is where every single thread we've been following, every character, every unresolved fight, comes crashing together in the ultimate Gotham story.
Just picture this scenario. A cataclysmic earthquake hits Gotham, leveling half the city. The government gives up, literally walls it off from the rest of the country, and just abandons it. The villains carve up the ruins into their own little kingdoms. And right in the middle of all that chaos, Batman is gone, vanished.
So in the city's darkest hour, with its greatest protector gone, who's left to save it? The family. This is their moment. This is what everything has been leading to. Nightwing, Oracle, Tim, Damian, and now Cassandra Cain, they have to finally step out of that shadow and become the saviors that Gotham desperately needs. This is their ultimate test. And so we reach the conclusion. After the city has fallen, and after his children have risen up to defend it, the Bat finally returns. But he is not the same man who left. He comes back humbled, changed, and finally ready to accept the one truth he has spent his entire life fighting against. His greatest strength was never his money or his fists. It was the family he built. He was never meant to do this alone.
And this whole saga leaves us with this incredible, lingering question, one that could totally redefine the character forever. If Bruce Wayne finally embraces being a father first and a vigilante second, if he finally learns to rely on his family, does he stop being Batman? Or maybe, just maybe, it means Gotham no longer needs one Dark Knight. Maybe what it really needs now is an army of them.